Welcome back. In our last lesson, we started building out our core Sokoban game logic. We were able to define our properties and our data structures that we'll need for our class. We started defining our public methods with how clients will interact with our Sokoban game engine. So in this lesson, we're going to finish building out the rest of our core logic and then work on testing the library that we created. To get started, let's go to our getGameState method. So in our method here, we just want to return an object that has all of the properties that represent our current game state. This will include details like our player's current position, our map and all the available tiles, so we'll be able to render it out, our box positions, our goal positions, and then if we've won the game or not. Mainly, this method is a way for us to return a copy of our game state that we're keeping track of internally. So inside our object here, first we'll do our player position. Since it's an object, we're going to make a copy of our player's current position. We'll return a copy of our current map. So we'll do map. We're going to set equal to our current map. We want to use our map method. We'll make a copy of each of our rows. Let's do our box positions. We'll want to make a copy of this. So I'm going to copy this part of our code here. We're going to paste it. We'll get our reference to our box positions. Now instead of doing our row, we'll do our box. Then for each of our box coordinates, we want to make a copy of that object. Now we'll do the same thing for our goals. So we'll do our goal positions. We'll reference our goal positions. Now we'll do our goal. Oh, up here, our argument needs to be box, and we want to make a copy of our box object. Down here, we'll make a copy of our goal. Next, we'll want to return if we won our game or not. So we're going to do isWon. We're going to reference our isWinCondition method. And then we'll return the width and height of our level. So next, let's do our isWinCondition. So for our player to be able to win our current level, we need to have all of our goals covered up by a box game object. So for this check, we want to loop through all of our current box positions. So we'll do we're going to do const box of our box positions. Now for each of those locations of our box, we want to grab our tile from there. So const tile is equal to our current map, our box Y position, our box X position. So now that we have our tile, we just want to make sure that tile type is equal to our box on goal. If it's not, that means we found at least one box that isn't on our goal. So for that check, we're going to do if our tile does not equal our tile types, our box on goal, then we'll return false. And so if we reach the outside of our for loop, that means all of our boxes are on their goal, and if they are, we can return true. Next, we'll do our reset method. So when we invoke our reset method, we just want to revert our game state back to our original map data. So for this, we're going to end up doing a lot of the same logic we did up in our constructor. So I'm going to copy our code from our constructor. We'll come back down to our reset method. So now in our reset method, for our current map, we want to set it equal to a copy of our original map. We don't want to modify our original map property, so let's remove that. Our map's not changing, so we don't need to recalculate our width and height. But now for our player's position, we do want to reset that back to our original starting location, and then place a floor tile in that spot. Finally, we can remove our goal positions since these are static and they won't change. We then need to get a copy of our box positions since these will be reset to their default starting locations. Finally, let's do our move player method. So for our method, we're going to receive one of the directions our player is trying to move. So this will be up, down, left, or right. So when we receive this input, we'll want to validate it's a valid direction, and then from that direction, check the tile that's next to our player. So here, if I want to move to the left, I'm going to check this tile here, and since it's empty, I can move my player. If I try to move to the left again, I'm going to encounter a wall, and so we shouldn't actually move our player. Likewise, when we're next to obstacles, we would do that same type of check. Now when our player is next to a box, we'll attempt to push our box and then move our player to that location. To start adding our logic, first we're going to validate the direction that was provided, and we're going to define our coordinates of where we'll need to update our player to if they move in that direction. So we'll make a new object. We're going to call this directions. So do const directions is equal to object.freeze. Now for this, we'll add in our 4 directions. So we're going to have up, For our value, we're going to set this equal to an object. And so if we move in the up direction, we don't want to update our player's X position. We want to update our Y position by subtracting 1. If we try to move down, same thing. We won't update X, but we'll increase our Y position by 1. So I'm going to copy these two objects. So now we'll have left and right. So when we move to the left, we want to subtract 1 from our X. If we move to the right, we'll add 1 to our X. For our Y values, these won't change. So now back down our movePlayer method, we're going to make sure the direction that we receive as an argument exists on that object. So we're going to do const, we're going to do dir for direction, we're going to say equal to our directions, our object, and we want to see if that key exists, so we'll pass in object. And so if our direction does not exist, so if it's equal to undefined, then we want to return false to show that we can't move in that direction. Now that we've validated our direction, we need to calculate the new position of our player and then check the tile of where our player is going to move to. So we'll make two new variables. We're going to do const new x will be equal to our player's current position plus the direction our x value we want to increment or decrement by. We'll do the same thing for our y. And now this will give us our coordinate of where we want to move to. So now that we have our new location, we need to check to see if our player can move to that spot. If they can't move to that spot, then we'll want to check to see if there's a box in that spot so we can push it. And then if there's no box, then we'll just return false. If our player can move to that spot, then we just need to update our player's position. So for this check, we're going to do if not this. We'll make a new method. We'll do can move to position. So we'll pass in our new x and our new y coordinate. We'll define this method on our class. So we're going to receive our x and y position for our arguments. We'll come back to this method in a second. So if our player can't move to that position, we want to see if there's a box in that new spot. So for that, we'll make a new variable. We're going to do target tile. We're going to set it equal to our current map, our new y position, and then our new x position. So one thing we need to be careful of here is since this is a 2D array, we're currently not checking the bounds of the direction we're trying to move to. If our player was ever at the edge of our map and we tried to go outside of our bounds of an array, we would throw an error. To avoid this, we can add a safeguard here where we'll say if our index for our new y, if this array exists, and our tile exists for our new y and new x coordinate, then we'll set our target tile equal to this. And so this is just a safeguard to handle those edge cases. Now that we have that target tile, if it exists, we can check its type. So if our target tile equals our box, or if it equals our box on our goal, then we want to see if we can push that box. So to do that check, we're going to make another new method. So we're going to return this. We'll attempt to push our box. And so when we go to push our box, we'll need to know the position of the box and the new coordinate of where we're trying to push the box to. So for the position of our box, it'll be next to our player. So we'll have our new x, we'll have our new y. And now for where we're trying to push our box, it's going to be equal to our direction here, since we're going to move it over one more space. So what this will look like is if I'm here, and I want to move into this location where my box is, when I go to push my box, it's not 1 over from my player, the resulting location will be 2 over from my player. And so to pass those as arguments, we want to take our new x position, we want to add in our direction x value, and then our new y, and we'll add in our direction y value. So now we'll need to define that method. So we'll do push box. This is now for our arguments. First we'll do our box x position, we'll do our box y position, then we'll say push to x, and then push to y. And we'll come back to that method later. So back down here, if our target tile is not a box, then it's going to be a wall or some other invalid position, so we want to return false, since we can't move to that location. Finally, outside our if block, if we reach here, that means we can move to that position that we originally calculated. For us to move to that location, we just need to update our player's position. So we'll do our player position x will be equal to our new x. We'll do the same thing for our y. And then we can return true since we were able to move our player. With our logic for move player in place, let's work on updating our logic for when we go to move to our position. So when our player goes to move to a position, first we'll want to make sure it's valid and that it's within the bounds of our map. As long as that's true, we'll then check our tile type for where our player is trying to move to, and if our tile type is our floor or our goal, we'll allow our player to move to that spot. So for that logic, we're going to do if this, and we're going to make a new method. We'll do is valid location, is valid position. So we'll pass in our x and y. Then we want to return false. Let's define that new method. So here we'll have our x and y, and now we just want to make sure these values are within the bounds of our map. For that, we just want to make sure our x position is greater than or equal to 0, and our x position is less than our width of our map. And now we'll do the same thing for our y. So we'll do and y is greater than or equal to 0, and y is less than our height. So this will make sure our value for x and y is within the bounds of our 2D array. So now back down in our can move to position method, we just want to grab our tile at the location we want to move to and check its type. So const tile is equal to our current map. For our coordinate, we'll do our y and then our x. And now we're going to return our tile if it's equal to our floor type, or if it's equal to our goal type. Finally, we have our pushbox method. So now in our pushbox method, there's a few different things we'll want to do here. First, we'll want to validate that we can actually push the box into the location that we're trying to push the box to. So for that check, we'll want to make sure our position our box is going to go to is a valid location, and it's going to be moved onto a tile that's currently our floor or our goal. So very similar to what we're doing for our player. After we do that check, then we'll need to update our map data. So for where our box is currently at, we'll want to update our tile type to be our floor if there was a floor under our box. But if there was a goal under our box, we'd want to reset our tile from box on goal back to goal. After we update the tile of where our box was at, we'll need to update the tile of where our box is now at. So we'll need to get the tile of where we just moved our box to, and if our box is on a goal, we'll set our type to box on goal. If there wasn't a goal tile there, then we'll just set the type to be box. Finally, we'll just need to update our player's position to be where our box previously was. First, we need to see if we can actually push our box to that new location. So this is very similar to what we did for our player. So we're going to do if not this. Instead of making a new method, we're going to use our canMoveToPosition method. So this method expects us to pass our x and y of where we want to move to. So we're going to pass our push to x and then our push to y. And so if we can't push our box to that position, then we just want to return false. So what we're doing is we're passing in the position of where we're going to move our box to. We're going to make sure that position is a valid space in our 2D array. If it is, we're going to make sure the space we're trying to move to is our floor or our goal. If it's neither of those, we won't be able to move our box to that location. So after we do our check, now we'll need to update our tile of where our box is currently at. So we're going to store this in a variable. So we're going to do const. We'll do our current box tile. That's going to be equal to our current map. And we'll want the position of where our box is currently at. So we'll do our box y and then our box x. Now that we have that tile, we're going to check its type. So if our current box tile, if it's our box on goal type, we want to reset our tile back to be our goal tile. So we'll do our current map. We'll do our box y, our box x. We'll set it equal to our goal type. If it wasn't a goal tile, then we know we're on a floor tile. So we'll do else. We'll copy this. We'll paste it. Now we have our floor tile. Next, we'll need to update our tile of where we're moving our box to. So for that, I'm going to copy this block of code here. We'll paste it. But instead of doing our current box tile, we're going to do our target tile. So for our target tile, it won't be our box y and box x. It'll be our push to y and our push to x. So now if our target tile is a goal tile, then we want to set our type to be our box on goal. Otherwise, we'll set it equal to our box tile. Now we just need to update our indexes here. So we'll do our push to y, then our push to x. Now after updating our target tile, we just need to update our player's position to be where our box previously was, and then update our box position. So for our player, we'll do our player position, we'll do our x be equal to our box x position. We'll copy that. Let's do our y position be equal to our box y. And now we need to update our box position. So we'll need to find the index of our box within our box positions array. So we'll do const our box index is equal to our box positions. We'll do find index. So while we're looping through our array, we'll have our box object, and we want our box where our x is equal to our box x, and our box y is equal to our box y. So once we have our index, we'll make sure it's not equal to -1. So we're just making sure it exists. And so once we have our box, we can update our position. So for our box positions, we'll use that box index. And now we want to update our object, and we'll set our x equal to our push to x, and our y equal to our push to y. Finally, we'll return true to show we were able to actually move our box. Alright, we now have a fully working Sokoban brain. In our next lesson, work on testing the library that we created.